Hey there. I want to take a quick moment and thank you for watching this video, for watching any of my videos, and for subscribing to the channel. It's because of people like you that my channel is able to get to over 1,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me. After all, the start of the year I hadn't even reached 200, and now here we are at 1,000, and I want to make sure you know just how grateful I am for you. Yeah, you. So, to show my appreciation, I asked you guys what you wanted me to do for a 1,000 subscriber special. And although I got a lot of really good challenge run ideas that I will be planning on doing sometime in the distant future, the majority wanted my top 10 Dragon Quest monsters. So that's what this video is. It's not going to be an in-depth analysis why these 10 monsters are the best in the entire Dragon Quest franchise. These are just guys I like for simple reasons sometimes. So let's get right into it. You don't need an introduction. Let's start with number 10, the Shadow. I love how his design is somewhat obscure. Like, it could be a human shadow, it could be a monster shadow, it could be an inanimate object shadow, because it has properties of each. But the thing I like most about the shadow is the fact that even when it makes it to 3D, and a lot of monsters don't translate too well to 3D, but he does, because he's still two-dimensional, because, shadows are two-dimensional. I think that's really cool. Number 9, Wataboo slash Fluffy slash Cottony. I'm calling him Wataboo because that's what I know him as. He's just so cute. Like, I'd want a stuffed animal of this as a child. I still love a stuffed animal of this because he's just so adorable. He's got that old smile on his face. It's great. In my mind, this is the mascot of Dragon Quest monsters. When I think of Dragon Quest monsters, a monster from this is the guy that comes to mind. Sure, that may not be the case with later entries, but that first game just leaves a pretty good impression on you. Go play that game. It's a great game. Number 8, Titanus. I love how they just decided, you know what? What if, in Dragon Quest, we put Satan? And that's how Titanus was created. Now, of course, that's cool and all, and it was in the 3D, not 3DS, it was on the two Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 on the Game Boy Color, excuse me. But once you bring him to 3D, that's when he actually cemented a spot on this list. Because if you've seen his 3D animations in Terry's Wonderland, they go way above and beyond anything they should. They look so epic for no reason. Like, they go hard. I don't know. Really helps sell. Number 7 is technically a tie spot between Duran and Nocturnus. They're technically both members of the Lost Leader family, so I can get away with it. I like them both equally for different reasons. Duran has a pretty good character. I like the character archetype of the person who enjoys battle just for the thrill of battle. I find that interesting, and I think it does a really good job pairing with Terry's growth as a character and his character arc. Terry's one of my favorite characters in the entire Dragon Quest series, and Duran just really works well in both Dragon Quest VI and Dragon Quest Monsters. As for Nocturnus, oh, it's just pure intimidation. This guy is terrifying almost every time you see him in any of these games. Like, there's never an instance, except maybe Dragon Quest IX's 3D model, where this guy does not strike fear into your heart. Or he should strike fear into your heart. I find it funny how in future games, like in the original Dragon Quest VI, Nocturnus was a palette swap of Duran. But by the time you get to Joker 2, Nocturnus was the one who had Duran become a palette swap. I find that funny. And I like them both, so they're both in number 7. Number 6, Mud Mannequin. Marionettes are cool. Like, they're weird, but they're cool. And I like weird things. This guy is just weird. Like, his animations, his movements, like, his dancing, like, it's all weird. This is just a weird guy that moves weird, and I like that. I really like it. Plus, Dark Prince, he was my first monster, although I did like him before then, I guess that's technically a nostalgia factor. How old is Dark Prince? He can't be that old. Number 5, the Muddy Hand. Hands are really weird if you think about it. Like, they're capable of so much, only if they have a thumb, otherwise they're almost completely useless. But we're not here to contemplate hands, we're here to talk about Muddy Hands. They're really cool. I really like the Bloody Hand variant as well, but Muddy Hand's safer for YouTube, so we'll just have to stick with that. I think the main reason why I like him, though, is once again nostalgia, because Dragon Quest Monsters, the originals, that's right, you're playing rock, paper, scissors against this guy. Sure, it's more of a memory game than anything, but, still really fun. Good memories. Number 4, Malroth. This is my favorite final boss. I love designs that I can trace back the inspirations to pretty clearly, and Malroth almost connects directly to the Hindu deity of destruction, that being Shiva. Plus, I love his fight in the original NES version of Dragon Quest II. No, I've never played it. However, I find it hilarious because I haven't played it. A boss should never have unlimited access to full heal. And yet here he is. He's not doing anything a turn except attacking you, maybe using a party-wide attack, and healing himself to full health. Imagine how annoying that must be. It's hilarious. Like, obviously, it wouldn't be if you're fighting him, but from an outsider perspective, I just find it funny. Number 3, the Killing Machine. Strong, intimidating, and I've used him in a lot of games, especially Dragon Quest Monsters. I think Dragon Quest Monsters Joker won. He was the first S rank I obtained, and I had him since till the end of the game, because he's really good in that game. He's easy to get, and his only weakness is his weakness to explosives. So, no, he's good in that game too. Plus, I really like the scene in Dragon Quest Heroes 1 where they appear in the Colosseum. Like, that's pretty good. Honestly, if you're going the killer monster route, this does a great job of it. It looks like a monster, a machine built to kill. Very fitting. Also, the fact that they're farmers in Dragon Quest Builders 2 is funny. I like that. By the way, play Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's a great game. Yes, that may have influenced my opinion on Melroth as well. I don't care. It's a great game. Number 2, Mimic. I like mimics. Like trying to work around the standard chest design that's pretty much everyone knows. It's unanimous in RPG culture. Trying to find a way to rework that into a threatening enemy in a creative way is hard. And this may be a little generic, but when I think of a mimic enemy, the Dragon Quest mimic is the one that comes to mind. You got the teeth, you got the tongue, you got the eyes. And it does a great job of straddling that line between scary and goofy. Like, if you look at this guy's design, just, in general, like, he kind of looks silly. He's just staring at you through the abyss, through his own jaws. Like, what kind of sense does that make? But if you ever encounter him in the game unprepared, like, there is nothing more terrifying than when they pull out thwack and they kill your entire party, and you're like, oh, dang it, I opened the wrong chest. I love it. I love it. Before we get to my number 1 monster, a few honorable mentions. I'll try and make this quick. Genocidal. This is my favorite evolution of the final bosses introduced in Dragon Warrior Monsters 2. I mean, Draco Lord's cool too, but the reason why this guy made it to my honorable mentions is because when he appears in Dragon Quest Monsters Plus with the main antagonist of the manga. Really cool. Very intimidating. Bizarro. Bizarro is a good character. I don't think that's a controversial take. In Dragon Quest IV, his character is really good. Now, Dark Prince wasn't doing it any favors, but as a final boss, Bizarro is also really good. I love how the way he slowly falls apart, only to mutate into something even more monstrous than Estark's normal form. Kind of echoes Bizarro's own arc throughout the story of Dragon Quest IV. It's really cool. Dirantula. This is arachnophobia incarnate. When you think of the fear of spiders, like, yeah, this is a guy worth fearing. They're both intimidating and goofy at the same time, and if you can have two separate, very distinct feelings at once in a design without them feeling like they're contrasting, you got a good design there, or at least in my very humble opinion. The one time you see him in Dragon Quest Monsters Plus also really helps cement the deal. It's not a big show or whatever, but it's cool. I like it. Corvus is neat. If Titanus is Satan, Corvus is Lucifer, and he's a great final boss for Dragon Quest IX. I like the Fallen Angel story that game has. Corvus does a good job finishing it up as a final boss. I just really like Dragon Quest IX. Go play it. Don Clauleon. Okay, platypunks are cool, sure, but this guy is just such a fun antagonist in Rocket Sun. One of my favorite parts is not just how he doesn't really do anything, except what he does at the start of the game and what he does when you fight him, but I also love how every time you talk to him, rather than the basic Dragon Quest sound noises that they do instead of voice acting sometimes, they don't go the of the text. They instead go quack, 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 quack. It's so weird, but it also gives him a lot of personality just with little sound effects. It's great. Speaking of good antagonists, Dr. Snap is a great antagonist in Joker 1, and Dr. Snapped is even better. Just like the final dungeon he in, it's weird, it's disgusting, and out of place, but it works perfectly because of those reasons. And I like myself weird stuff. I said that way back like a couple minutes ago. Like, he is weird, he's creepy, but I love it. He's such a good final boss. This ain't the video for that, though. Moving on to Caravan Heart, Dead Father. The name is funny, that's it. I don't know. Just the image of a monster known as Dead Father. You don't think of the white priest where it's like, oh yeah, this is an undead religious figure. It's like, no, your dad is dead, and he's come back from the dead to attempt to kill you. And then eventually join your monster party, and then eventually breed with some other monster and produce children. Like, what? Moving on. Ogapi. This is another Caravan Heart guy. I like his design. And like I said back a couple minutes ago, I like designs you can trace back to a pretty clear origin. And this guy actually traced back to something I knew nothing about, the actual real world Oga piece. Like that is such a cool thing, and honestly, I love it. Plus, the actual monster is pretty cute, so points for that as well. Ruin looks really cool. Bunnycorns are really cute. They're both honorable mentions because that's all they are. Really cool and really cute. Pazuzu. I've never played Dragon Quest II. However, his appearance in Dragon Quest Monsters Plus, he paired really well with the Dragon Quest II hero in that, who was incredibly well written in that. So, they pair well together, it all works out. The Unicorn. Now, I don't know about its 3D installments or anything like that, but in the original Dragon Warrior Monsters game, oh, this guy was awesome. He looked cool, and between the colors and the pose, this was a legendary threat. He looked scary and awesome, everything at the same time. It was great. Plus, he was a really good healer, so, it was actually worth using, too. That's awesome. You know, so much so that the game itself will often recommend, yeah, healers are good. Unicorn is really good. You should get one. That is an actual thing that is said in the game. And they're right. They're a great healer. Final honorable mention is the Hammerhead. This guy is so goofy. I can't take it seriously. It's a potato with a hammer and a hood. Obviously it's all the name, but seriously? Really? This is supposed to scare me. I mean, it is scary when he gets a critical hit after missing you for 5 turns, but if you fight in 5 turns with a hammer hood, you're probably underleveled. That being said, this guy's great. Oh, he's also a really good physical attacker in early games of any games with monster recruitment. There's a piece of advice for you. Honorable mentions out of the way, time for my number 1 monster in this list. You probably didn't see it coming. It's the Bubble Slime. Okay, you probably did see it coming. Why is this? Why, though? That's the big question. That's the one you actually care about. It's not, oh yeah, who's in your number 1? It's, why is he your number 1? And, well, we're gonna have to go back in time. Way back when, to actually, in fact, one of my earliest memories. I couldn't tell you what year it is, or really anything, but what I do remember is that I had just received a Dragon Quest bath bomb. Now, this was my first ever exposure with Dragon Quest. I didn't know what it was, I didn't know anything about it. I knew nothing. But I got this bath bomb with all these cute little slimes in it, and it was slime shaped, and inside there was going to be this little figurine of some mystery slime. It could have been the Slime Knight, or the King Slime, or Metal Slime, or Bubble Slime. So rather than, use it in a bath like a normal person, instead held it under the sink and ran the water so it could dissolve quickly to see what the little guy inside was. And little guy, this very first exposure I ever had to Dragon Quest as a series at all, was this Bubble Slime. I don't know where that guy is. It's been years, a lot of years, since that day. I, for the life of me, have no idea what happened to it. But ever since then, as I've learned more and more about Dragon Quest and its expanded series and eventually Dragon Quest Monsters, every time I see a Bubble Slime, it hits somewhere. It's not nostalgia, not quite, but a sense of familiarity that is just not exactly present with some of these other guys. This little puddle of green goo has existed in my life far longer than Dragon Quest as a series ever has. In my mind, in my life, it is expanded before that. It existed before that. But as a result, I just can't help but love him. And of course, it helps that liquid metal slimes exist too, and metal monsters are great, and you can befriend them in every game of monster recruitment because of how good they are. So, just icing on top of the cake at that point, why not? They're really cool. And those are my top 10, plus I think around 10 other Dragon Quest monsters I like. Now, of course, this isn't some definitive ranking. You're free to disagree with my rankings. I expect you disagree with my rankings. But that all being said, thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. I just want to make it clear once again, couldn't have done it without you guys, literally. And I'm incredibly grateful. So, keep an eye out for the next video I release. I'm not sure when this video is going to be released, but, it'll be on a Tuesday, it always is. And thank you all for watching, and this has been The Feeder of Souls.